Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back. I'm Periwinkle Jellyfish. Yes, I changed my name again, and today I'll be drawing a dreamycore character. For this video, I plan on starting things out in Clip Studio Paint because I did not record drawing things on paper, and also I just wanted to switch things up a little bit. Okay, so for this character, along with having a very dreamycore color palette, I imagine that she's also very cheerful and energetic and a little bit mischievous and a really fun person to hang out with. But I imagine that she's also sometimes unable to face reality. She's literally a dreamer, unable to wake up from her dreams and how she wants to view things. Being positive and seeing the bright side of things is good, but when it's all you can focus on and you refuse to confront actual situations that you need to deal with, like bad grades or whatever the situation that this character may be facing is, you need to learn to deal with that and actually confront it, or you're not going to go anywhere or fix anything. I like to give my characters some form of mental illness or some sort of flaw to them so that they have something that their character development can grow off of. If I just make a character that's completely perfect, they're not going to be very interesting. So that's the main flaw with this character that I imagine she has. She's very optimistic and cheerful and a fun person to hang out with, but she's also unable to embrace when she needs to face reality and step away from her dreams. She's unable to wake up from the positive way of things that she sees everything. Just imagine Joy from Inside Out 1 or Rapunzel from Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure. Both characters are very optimistic and cheerful, and they're both good people, but they also struggle with facing tough situations, and that's how I imagine this character acts as well. Moving on to actually talking about the drawing, for this one I am just about done with working on the line art, and once I'm done with that, I can work on the coloring. As I said, this character will have a very dreamycore color palette. Okay, so I started out with a very teal hair color for this character because I thought that would be a really cute way to start things off. And I don't know, that's just how I thought things should start out, but in the end, I just felt like something wasn't clicking right. Something just wasn't functioning the way I thought it should for this character. Usually when I take a step back and take a look at whatever I'm drawing, I'm able to kind of just like recognize, okay, yeah, I like how this looks. Everything seems to be working correctly. Let's move on to this next step. But for this, for some reason, the hair just was not clicking to me. Sorry, I have hiccups. Okay, so I was drawing the little flowers in her hair and her earrings, and I decided, yeah, maybe I should just change the hair color. So, yay, that's 10 minutes I'll never get back. But I really do like coloring in the hair, so the chance to do the whole thing again is, I'm not going to complain at that. So once I was done coloring in the flowers, then I decided to go over the hair color and make it purple instead. It was a little bit annoying and frustrating, but oh well. I was deleting all the layers of the hair coloring, and now we're changing it into a nice lavender instead of a bright teal. I had to adjust coloring over the flowers a little bit because that was just a little bit of a mess. But once I was done with that, I could get on to creating those beautiful little streaks in the hair. As a little update to me, I recently went to a corn maze with some of my close friends, and it was very fun, and we were stuck in that maze, which is like a few miles big for like an hour and a half, so that was fun. So I am working on the hair. This takes a little bit of attention to detail because there are lots of swoopies, and you don't want to color over the lines of the swoopies because then it looks unnatural. Yes, I call the streaks of the hair and the strands swoopies, just because it's fun. I have to make up my own name for a lot of things. The hairs are the swoopies, the accessories are thingies, the eyes are the face thingies. Yeah. So I'm going over the hair, just making sure everything looks natural. This is probably one of the most fun parts for the drawing, so I'm not complaining to have to do this twice. And in the end, I think that that lavender is a much better suit for her. So now we are just about done with the hair color, so I can move on to coloring in the dress and the rest of the outfit. So the color palette that I decided would include lots of purples, teal, and yellow, but in the end that didn't really work very well, as I just mentioned, so I changed it to purple, darker purple, and a teal. And in the end, I think this color palette works a lot better than the previous one. So there are these little wing flappy things near the skirt of her dress, and I think this is a really cute thing. I just thought some wing or feather accents to her might express how she's trying to escape from reality. She's a bit of an escapist instead of a realist, if that makes sense. Like she's trying to fly away from her problems and fly to freedom. But in reality, running away from situations that she got to deal with, like homework or something, whatever she may be dealing with, is not a very smart thing to do. So yeah, those wing flappies, I'm just gonna call them the wing flappies, are just like they represent that she's an escapist. She's trying to not deal with her problems, which is not a very good thing to do. I would not recommend it. So I'm coloring around the beads and pearls because that's something I need to do. I wanted this character to have lots and lots of pearls and beads. I imagine that whenever she moves, the sound of gemstones clinking together sounds like this, like that. Okay. So now I am coloring things in, just being very careful around the little beads. Okay, now I'm doing just a little bit of shading because I imagine that the sleeves are very baggy and droopy, and I wanted to make that seem a little bit more obvious and not just make it seem like she has really fat arms. So I'm giving her I lost the words. I lost my train of thought. I'm giving her beads and gemstones, clinky clinky, a nice gold color to them because I just thought it would be really cute and a nice accent color. So throughout this, I was just questioning to myself, what do I want to draw this? What do I want this color to be? What do I want this color to be? Just just that's honestly what I do every single time I draw. So once I was done with experimenting with that and some gradients, then I was ready to add some more details to her dress. So I decided to add some little sparklies to her dress because I thought that would make things seem very spacey core and or dreamy core rather. I wanted things to seem a little bit spacey, and yeah, I just thought that it would add a little bit of detail to her dress. I was experimenting with a few of the brushes because, as I mentioned last video, I was trying to experiment with a few new brushes just so that I can get a better feel for them. Just been trying to slowly incorporate them into my drawings. So once I decided on that, I started to work on the fan that she has. I just like drawing fans and I think they're fun, and I just thought it would be really fun to draw it and add some ruffles, and it would be a good prop for her. So once I was done working on the fan, I started coloring in the lace. It was just a nice, simple teal. Spoiler alert! My brain is working faster than this time lapse is going. Okay, so now I am experimenting with different colors for one area of the skirt. In the end, I decided to go for teal just because I think some color cohesiveness is good. Of course, now I am working on sparkles. I'm deciding if I should add sparkles or not to that area of the dress. This was the ultimate question: sparkles or no sparkles. I think in the end I opted for the sparkles because you can never have too many. So now I'm working on coloring in the skin, which is usually the one of the last parts of a drawing to me. So now I'm working on the eyes, and I am so happy with how these ones turned out. They're a nice magenta, and then they fade into a very bright teal with some sparkly little stars in them, of course. So I'm adding some little sparkles to them, just making things seem very spacey, like her eyes are just space itself, or like she's looking up to the night, to the space when you dream. Yeah. So now I'm just adding a little bit of shading to her eyes, and now I'm about to go on to rendering and going over the line art. This is usually one of the quickest parts of my art process. I decided to blend a little bit of different colors into the going over the line art process just because I thought it would look a little bit cool and be a little bit more detailed. So now I'm coloring in the dress and everything, and this was a fairly simple process. But it's also very important because it makes the lines feel really soft and makes things feel a little bit more cartoony and chibi. So now I'm coloring in over the eyes and everything. I added a little bit of a teal gradient to them as well. And then I decided to make them fade into something a little bit darker, added some sparkles to it as well. And once I colored over the mouth and the nose, I was ready to go on to rendering. I decided to give her some very dramatic lighting where one side of her has warm lighting and one side has cold lighting, so it seems very unreal and almost unnatural. It only possible, well, probably most likely to happen in a dream. Like that lighting right now seems like it's just coming straight out of a dream. It's coming straight out of the nonsense that your head makes up when you're asleep. And I also added a saturation layer because I just thought that would make things seem much more vibrant. Sorry for the glare on the screen. I did not realize that that was there until I looked back on the recording and realized I messed up. So, that's fun. So, uh, I was consulting my friends on if I thought I should delete one layer or not delete one layer because I could not tell if the saturation layer that made everything seem much more vibrant was better or just made everything seem worse. In the end, I opted to have the saturation layer just be have a lower opacity because I think that's a good solution. So here's our finished product. So thank you so much for watching this video through to the end, and please let me know what you think I should name this cutie down below. Thank you so much to one viewer last video for giving me the idea to name the character from the Rainbowy character video, Arco Iris. I had to look up how to pronounce that correctly. So let me know what you think I should name this character, and I'll see what I can do. Thank you so much for watching this video through to the end, and I'll see you soon. Bye!